There are a pair of movies coming out in quick succession that I am super hype for the release of. Not because I'm going to go watch them. No, man, I can find something better to do with, 4 hours of my time. But with the Marvels coming out this Friday, and I just legitimately cannot wait for the box office results on that one. And unfortunately, we're going to have to wait an additional week for this Hunger Games debacle to finally plop out on the screens. I couldn't be more enthusiastic about the future of Hollywood, mostly because your boy's a bit of an accelerationist, and I just want to see it all burn so we can just go ahead and build up something better and then just keep the freaks at bay this time around. Build the wall another 10 feet higher for every single time Rachel Zegler flaps her jaws. A lesson at least one of the studios that she's currently employed by are learning the hard way. But this time around, okay, like as much as we know that the Marvels is, it's gonna make some money. Pocket change is still some money at the end of the day. But the Hunger Games prequel, well, yeah. I don't even know if it's gonna make enough to just buy a large popcorn at the concession stand before you go watch something better. Oof. Rachel Zegler pays homage to Hunger Games Katniss Everdeen. I'm so tired. I am absolutely disgusted by the homage that this goofy half-ass character gets. And yes, I'm trying to bait those stupid-ass Hunger Games fans, man. You guys are pathetic. Just weak-ass individuals, man. Like, holy, you're just about the most insufferable ones, but you keep on coming back just to downvote the stuff. Thanks. Interaction's great, and you're just doing me a service by giving me a view and a thumbs down. I don't care at the end of the day. Rachel Zegler's atrocious. The Hunger Games was never anything to begin with. The projections for this prequel are abysmal. I'm going to continue to talk about it and make better jokes than are written for this nonsense at a fraction of the budget. And you know what? God willing, I'm going to end up turning a profit. Unlike this piece of shit. I think I found a more insufferable fan base than the Hunger Games one. What is it? That trial about that Netflix chick? Holy, it's not the worst ratioed video that I've ever had. That's still the Sydney Watson one from when I said, yeah, she's kind of an attention whore when she was making those posts. And it's like, why didn't you just say something and have your seat moved when you were stuck between two fat people and you just wanted to passively aggressively post on Twitter? And then within a couple of weeks later, my criticism of her ended up being vindicated when she was filing that spurious lawsuit against the Blaze because of mud discrimination. Wow, your boy ends up getting vindicated in the long run. You guys should stick around a little while. You might fucking learn something, but you probably have already gone because you have to go jerk off to your Jennifer Lawrence body pillow. You fucking weirdos. But yes, Rachel Zegler, because she got the nice little flyer and she could go promote the Hunger Games atrocity. Well, she showed up in her best dress and she's paying homage to Katniss Everdeen, which outside of the context of somebody pointing out that, oh, that's actually paying homage to Katniss Everdeen. Nobody ever fucking thinks about that name. Rachel Zegler, stunned. Did she really? Because she kind of looks more stunned than she actually did. The stunning, as she arrived at the premiere of Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes at Zoo Palast in Berlin, Germany on Sunday. The actress, 22, paid tribute to the original Hunger Games lead star Jennifer Lawrence, who played Katniss. You don't say, wow, in a sleeveless black and red mermaid tail gown. The original films, Katniss is known as the girl on fire, and now she just looks like, yo man, can this bitch just emote with her face and just not look bitchy? There's a word that immediately comes to my mind when I see the expression like that, and it's, well, something that'll immediately get me demonetized. But anyways, yeah, this is supposed to be like on fire, but the only thing that I can see with the design down there at the bottom, it's like, oh, it's an homage to what, Guts from Berserk? Like, is she marked or something like that? But I'm sorry to go ahead and, besmirch the good name of Berserk, but that's the first thing that I see when I look down there. It's probably some, I don't know, some uber satanic sign or something like that. I don't really care, man. But all things said and done, I think Griffin would end up treating Rachel better than, the box office results will for this fucking atomic bomb in the distance. The reason for the waiver was due to the fact that Lionsgate, oh yes, talking about the special exemption from the strike that may or may not be over, the actors are mulling over, at least at time of recording, the final offer, the best offer that you're going to get from the studios. They're doing that as we speak right now. Could be over. Everybody could be back on the red carpet, which, oh, if they can go ahead and get something together for the Marvels, oh, I'll be so happy. Your boy is just, oh, he's going to be so goddamn happy about that stuff. Anyways, yeah, it is not a part of the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, as per TMZ. Okay, because, oh yeah, Lionsgate isn't a part of the big studio heads. Therefore, the actors that are a part of the union can go ahead and break those picket lines. So is she a scab? Is she not a scab? Is she talentless? Yeah. The guild is currently in its 114th day of picketing as they continue to try to figure out a deal with the AMPTP, whatever. The star who plays Lucy Gray Baird, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Accessorized with stunning ensemble with silver hoop earrings and a number of other sparkling jewels. Yeah, but here's the thing. She's not wearing a necklace, and she should have considered like a strapless push-up bra or something like that, because them titties look like they just have nipples that are in line with her belly button. It's like, this is not a very good look, unless of course you're going for a melting candle ensemble. Like, it looks cheap as chips. It's so nice your date for the evening decided to wear Ron DeSantis's lifts. Holy shit. But we could just go ahead and continue to make, terrible jokes on her for the rest of the day, but we'll just let her career speak for itself. Disney. Okay, we're going to talk about Disney and Snow White, because guess what? We finally got a reason that film ended up getting pushed off a year. Now, there's obvious things where it needed to get pushed off for, at least a little while, right? Because it had the initial release date of, I think it was March 20th, 2024, but then it ended up getting the March 21st, 2025 release date. And everybody just kind of chalked it up to, well, the strike is there. Oh no, I don't know. Maybe they just think that all the conspiracy theorists started to come out of the woodworks. But in actuality, the film wasn't done. They couldn't get the actors on set in order to continue to film, do the reshoots, the pickups, and all that other jam. So yeah, the film wasn't going to get done. They still wanted to have that same spring release window. They just decided to push it off a year. But apparently, an inside source talking about this stuff, Disney delayed Snow White over fears there would be a financial disaster, flop like Cats. Well, it will be. Unless you scrap it and take the tax benefit, like, this thing is going to be weighing like an anchor around your neck. As controversy continues after Rachel Zegler's woke tirade at weird original plot with stalker prince. Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny because Rachel Zegler has had that release from Lionsgate to go and promote the Hunger Games film, and outside of appearing on the red carpet, I don't think that she ended up taking any... Smiling's not a good look for her either. Outside of taking a few pictures, didn't really do anything in regards to talking to the press, and that guy just looks like the most unimpressive individual that I've ever seen in my entire life. But she looks like she should be in that Diplo video about somebody that I used to know. Very strange looking individuals. But okay, I would imagine over the time when Rachel Zegler was just being insufferable on the picket line, somebody got in her ear, listen bitch, you can go ahead and promote this fucking film, but at the same time, don't talk to anybody and just smile for the camera, just pose, show your titties off a little bit, and then just get the fuck in the seat and then get the fuck out. That's all we want on this one. We want the more likable individuals to go out there and deliver the interviews. We know that we're trying to build the entire resuscitated franchise around you and your character, but you're fucking trash right now. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna try to rehab your image a little bit, and that's definitely what Disney's trying to do. Put as much time between those comments getting revealed and the release of this abomination as possible, in hopes that, well, fuck, we can salvage something out of this, because $330 million have already been sunk into this shit, and it's only going to be higher from there because they still have all of those reshoots to do. They still have all of the finishing touches to put on it. This thing is going to be a catastrophic bomb that's going to make the Marvels look tepid in comparison. Disney is said to be delaying its upcoming Snow White remake in a bid to avert a financial disaster, with the producers reportedly fearing it will bomb at the box office and cripple any chance of future spin-offs. Yeah, it will. And you think by releasing that still image of those fucking terrifying looking dwarves, it's gonna make it better? No, it's not. Last week, yes, the studio announced that it would push back the film's release until March of 2025, a whole year after its scheduling date, citing the ongoing SAG-AFTRA strike as a driving force behind the decision. But an insider has exclusively told Daily Mail that Disney is said to be figuring out what to do. Is that just in general, like as a studio, as a production company, because they have so many fires to put out? Because last week with the Variety article completely and totally eviscerating Marvel, and then with South Park also just dropping trow on Lucasfilm, Star Wars specifically, they got some They got some problems over there, to say the least. And then, yes, your own proprietary brand just looking like a dumpster fire. But don't worry, guys. Wish is going to turn everything around. That's going to be released before the end of the year. Nobody cares. But anyways, yes, after making a $330 million turkey, at this point, just take the tax write-off, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. There's no coming back from the pits of despair on this one. The decision comes after Zegler, 22, who plays the titular princess, launched a woke tirade at the original weird plot with a stalker prince. And it's not 1937 anymore. It was 85 years ago. Like, who cares about old things? Despite having only watched the 1937 animated film once as a child. Yeah, I watched it and I thought it was kind of weird and I just threw it to the side. And we're going to be telling a more empowered girl boss story. That's so much better. Oh, yeah, and by the way, yeah, the 7 Portland baristas that are right there, the Seattle streetwalker crew, they're still very much in the film. They haven't been removed for the dwarves in order to be, I don't know, a little bit more lore accurate. No, they're going to be 2 independent crews, and how is all of this shit going to work together? Oh, spoilers, it's absolutely not. Disney had to delay Snow White because they have spent so much money on it, and it is a financial disaster at the box office. So, okay, even before all the comments from Rachel Zegler did come out, you still, at the end of the day, were spending $300 million on somebody who had, at that point in time, when you guys started production on this shit, had only been in 1 film. And that thing, to say that it underperformed would be the equivalent of saying that Biden has a little bit of a speech problem. Okay, so this is just simply more than a Rachel Zegler is unlikable problem. This is a ballooning budget in Hollywood problem. They had to remove themselves from the bad taste in their mouths. Pause, that's probably how she got the role to begin with. Of online critics who want to instead deliver a great film and get to the point where they get it right. Well, hope so, man, because if this thing just ends up being great in spite of all of the bad publicity, well, fantastic. There's a great movie that's out there. That's all anybody who critiques this shit really actually wants. Like, for all the things that I talk about, I recently did a video about Spider-Man, right? Yeah, it was about Spider-Man. And if the film didn't have those insufferable elements, if they weren't employing activists in order to push propaganda over a decent story, that would be better for everybody. Like, listen, I would love to cover stuff that is exceptionally good. Like, good news in the news cycle, okay? I would be totally fine doing that stuff. But when you want to take a holistic approach to all of these societal woes, you have to be multifaceted. You have to cover breaking news. You have to cover politics. You have to cover entertainment because it all feeds into one another, okay? Talking about Biden flopping on the stage is just as important as the insufferable shit a 22-year-old entitled bitch is also talking in front of the camera, because it all just feeds into one another. We're at this point in time where everything is so interconnected. If you end up missing one branch, everything falls apart. That's the unfortunate state that we're in, but it's also fortunate because there are so many other disparate actors that are in here that you can kind of predict the downfall of one aspect because another aspect has already gone through that. You can see the collapse of Hollywood coming from a mile away because they were adapting the source material, especially in regards to the superhero genre. You could see Marvel's collapse coming from a mile away because the writing was poor and they were adapting stories that didn't sell in the comic book industry. And the comic book industry right now is a smoldering pile of ash outside of the great stuff that Eric July is doing with the Ripperverse. He's making a bag because there's good writing, because he has industry veterans that have been pushed to the side for their covert political opinions because they aren't outright activists. That's what killed the comic book industry. And then when all of those cockroaches fleed that mess and found themselves working in other entertainment industries, well, now we're starting to see other projects, other studios, other industries start to reach critical mass. And, well, all you need to do is just walk it back. Know a little bit of history, okay? Nothing new has ever happened. It's just the player and the people that are involved. That's realistically all of the difference. And it just so happens that there is one of the most insufferable, entitled little girls attached to this story. It just makes it infinitely hilarious. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.